coming up on this episode of The Lookout.
Let's go. You just gotta go hard. Good hooks.
The Lookout is presented by Horn Hunter, Conquest Scents, Barronett Lines, River's Edge Tree Stands, Build the Bone Mineral Company, and Illusion Hunting Systems.
Oh, howdy folks. It is 2 days before turkey season opens here in North Dakota. This blind in this spot that I'm watching right now has just been on fire today. It had birds come by non-stop all day long. As you can see right now, there's two toms kind of going out of the picture right there. And there's a big strutter in the middle, and there's another tom over here. I think that's a tom right there too. So I believe there's 5 toms in this little group of birds. And it's right by where my ground blind is. They're just up the draw from it a little bit right now. Only problem is these guys let a lot of people hunt, anybody who asks basically, so it is private, but about as close to public as you can get, because anybody who asks to hunt turkeys, they'll let them on. So my only fear is that when I come down here to hunt Saturday morning, that there's going to be other hunters in here that might screw things up for me. So I'm trying not to get too terribly excited and optimistic, but if we get left alone, we should kill a bird opening morning for sure. It's pretty awesome stuff. Well, good morning folks. It's opening day of turkey season in the spring here in North Dakota. It is April the 12th. I was down here scouting the last couple nights. Last night we had the big double-bearded bird roost about 100 yards behind the blind. Looked like 2 toms and 2 or 3 hens is all. The big group is further up the creek and across the road, and there's another hunter that's over there trying to kill a bird this morning with a shotgun. We're set up in the ground blind. I put out a feeder and a lay-down hen, because these 2 toms that are over here obviously aren't the dominant toms. They kind of got kicked off, and they only got a couple hens with them, so hopefully if they come through here at some point this morning, they see these 2 hens and they come over and try to put on a show and give us a shot. Just got everything all set up. Trying to cool down a little bit now, let the sweat dry. And I'm going to get an arrow knocked and loaded. And I might try just really light calling once these birds hopefully start firing off from the roost. I can hear birds gobbling down along the river, and those birds up the creek across the road are gobbling a little bit already too. All I know is it feels good to be back in the turkey woods. It's been a long winter, and I'm pretty jacked up to be out here chasing these things again. With any luck, we'll get an opportunity to fling an arrow this morning. off opening day of turkey season here in North Dakota. We're bow hunting some public ground. Had a really close call this morning. I was hunting some private stuff. Had a tom do exactly what I hoped. Came in under 15 yards and just kind of got skittish, didn't want to commit to the decoys. I set up a feeder and a laydown, hoping he would mount up on the laydown and I could head chop him. But he kept on scooting by, and I had a head chopper loaded up, so I didn't want to wing one. I sat there. I got in there about 5:30 this morning and sat till about 1:30 this afternoon. Then I moved a couple of trail cameras and moved that ground blind. And came over to my public land spot, and there's a pile of birds up the draw right now. Looks like they're kind of working their way down towards where the blind is. I got a strutter over a laydown and a feeder out in front of me. Sitting in this new Barronett ACE 250 blind. First time hunting out of one of these. Super lightweight, so much easier to pack in here than the Ox 5. There's a whole pile of birds that are crossing the creek and looks like they're working this way. I got the decoy set at like 5 feet maybe, not 5 yards, like 5 feet. So if something does come in, it's gonna be up close and personal. And I'm just sweating. A little after 4 o'clock. Been running cameras in here for the last couple weeks. And these birds have been coming through here about 5:30, so it looks like they're about right on track. They fed cattle through here all winter long, so there's a bunch of cow poop and straw, and they like to come in here and scratch around and get the grain or corn or whatever they were fed out of the cow poop. But I think we're in the game. Close call this morning. Hopefully we can get her done this evening. We're on the lookout for a big old North Dakota strutter. Hopefully we can close the deal. sat out and hunted today. Started at a different spot this morning, had a bird come by at under 15 yards. Trying to decap. Just never had a good shot. Come down here, there's been an eagle flying around scaring all these birds off. The jakes have just taken over down here. They were running all the toms off. And they were chasing each other around over here on the side of the blind, and I was peeking out the side. And they chased this tom, and he was running right towards the decoy. So I drew back before he ever come in front of the blind. And I didn't let him interact with the decoys because I was nervous that these jakes were gonna run him off again. So as soon as he got close, I put it on his head, and at like 5 feet from the blind, completely decapitated him. I think both my GoPros were going. That was insane. That was so much fun. Bird number 1 of the year, baby. Oh, that feels good. Good hooks. No head. Completely took his whole noggin off.
Good hooks.
Well, here we are, folks. Opening day here in North Dakota spring season, 2025. It was a long day. Got up this morning about 4 o'clock. Went down, had some birds roosted last night. Snuck into my Barronett ACE 5. Had a pretty cool encounter. There was 2 toms gobbling from the roost. Did some light calling, pulled him in. He come into about 15 yards. I had a lay down hen and a feeder. And for some reason, he didn't want to commit to the decoys, even though he's all by himself and there was no jake or tom. So he kind of scooted on by. I decided midday to move that ground blind, move a couple cameras over there, and I wanted to come hunt this spot that's on public ground. And I got in here. I could see some birds up the draw. They were gobbling a little bit, chasing each other around, and there was a golden eagle flying around, and those birds were just freaking out and didn't want to leave the cover of the creek bottom when he was out flying around. I had 2 jakes and a bearded hen coming from off to the right. They come by the decoys, kind of skirted us a little bit, and then the whole flock started coming around the corner, and I can't believe how many jakes moved in here. There was 15 or more toms here a couple weeks ago, and the jakes have just kind of run them all out of here. So this big flock, I think, only had maybe 2 or 3 toms, and this guy was one of them. He was taking up the rear, and that pack of jakes were chasing him around and all the other toms around, and drew back well before he ever got in front of the blind. And I probably should have let him work the decoys a little bit, but I was nervous that those jakes were going to come run him off. So as soon as he gave me any sort of a decent shot right by my lay down hen, I put it on his head and let it eat, and it completely decapitated him. I mean, his whole head got chopped off, and you want to talk about a quick, clean, and humane kill. It doesn't get any quicker and cleaner than that, folks. He was dead instantly, and he's a beautiful bird. He's got a really nice beard, definitely over 9 inches, and spurs are really good for a bird around here too. They got to be close to 1 inch. So he's a mature bird for sure, but what a fun hunt, man. I absolutely love this stuff. Can't wait for my buddy Josh McAllister to get out here in a few days, and we'll be hunting with him and my other buddy Troy Hendrickson over in Montana. My son Grayson's got a tag this year too, so North Dakota we'll try to get him out the next couple nights, and probably not down here. I think these birds are a little wise to our setup now after we decapped one of the big boys. But God, what a cool spot. Beautiful, beautiful bird. Justin Fisketjon with the lookout, and this is awesome. This is what we live for, bringing you guys these sorts of adventures, and I hope you enjoyed this hunt. It was a grind of a day today. A lot A lot of hours in the blind. I don't even know, it's got to be close to 8 o'clock now, so I think I've been up for like 14 hours. So a dozen of those have been sitting inside the blind or going from one spot to the other, but wouldn't have it any other way. Another hard-earned bird, public ground to top it off, which is really cool. And to decap one, that's awesome. These birds are just, they're gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous birds.